Alright, now I'm going to set that over to the side. I'm going to start on the metering block. First thing I'm going to do is put the power valve in. Okay, I got the power valve in the checker, and this is a 6.5 power valve. So I'm going to start adding vacuum, and I don't know if you can see it, but you see it's moving, but it don't fully close until around 6 pounds of vacuum. Let it bleed off real easy. See what? Yeah, it don't close to around 6 pounds of vacuum. So if you're tuning your car, carburetor on your car, just take your vacuum reading. Say if you got 12 pounds of vacuum, divide it in half and add 0.5. So 12 divided in half be 6, and then add 0.5, so 6.5 will work. But what'll happen is this will not shut off all the way, so it'll let gas come in through here and come through these holes and go through them holes and add more fuel to the carburetor. So something like the Demon, it's only got 6 pounds of vacuum altogether. The chances of this one closing off all the way is slim on the Demon. So with only having 6 pounds in it, I took and divided it in half, 3, and then added 0.5. And that's the size power valve I got in the Demon, a 3.5, and it runs real good. So now install the power valve. I always like to do it upside down like this here, so I know the gasket stayed seated in that groove. There's a little power valve wrench tool. Let's give it a good little snug. You could use a 1-inch wrench, but I like this here. Okay, so the power valve is installed. Like I was saying, if you don't have vacuum, which the vacuum comes from the hole right in here, and that's what closes the power valve. And if it don't close, like I said, it'll feed fuel into these wells. Now install the jets. This one here's got, let's see if I can see it. "66 jets. And you could use a big screwdriver, but I got this actual jet tool, which makes it easier. It fits the jets real good, so you won't take a chance of messing the jets up. Got them tight. Alright, metering block's almost done. I'm going to put auto mixture screws in. So you just take these little, some of them have O-rings, some of them got little cork screw washers, but just take and what I do, take a little screwdriver and push them down in there. Get them pushed in like that. Take the auto mixture screw. Screw it in. They say screw them out round and a half, but I'll take it and I screw it as half. 1 and a half. And do the same for the other side. Now the auto mixture screws are in, jets are in and tight, power valve is in, so now your metering block is complete. But when install it on the vehicle, on just the auto mixture screws, get them set, but round and a half is a good spot to start. Now go to the fuel bowl. Alright, before I get the float and everything in the way, I like to install this umbrella seal. Push it through. Give it a little pull till the end comes out. And the reason why I say I like to do it before I put the float in, it's got all this extra. And it will get in the way of the float drop. So now I can install the float just like I did on the back one. But see what I'm saying about going ahead and install that umbrella seal first and then trim it? See, the spring's in the way, and with that piece sticking up, it would have hit the bottom of the float and there wouldn't have a good float drop. So now it's got float drop. Get the new needle and seat. Install it. Turn it upside down. And get it to where it's level, and then install your top gaskets. Okay, put your top gasket on, put your adjuster nut, put the other gasket, hold the adjuster nut while you screw that in. Put the tool on there. Tighten it up, turn it upside down, it stayed where it was. You got float drop. Okay, now I'll install the accelerator pump. Now you install your accelerator pump, drop the spring in. Pump on there, and this is made of rubber. This one here is, and they will get, if the car sets for a little bit, or it will get hard and not work properly. But put your pump cover on and start your screws. I just like to get them started. down till they touch. And then tighten them up. You ain't gotta get too carried away, but a little snug. And once it's installed, it puts fuel through here, and I always like to listen to it and pump it. Make sure you can hear that little pump. Slide this back in. Click in place. Get a new gasket for your sight plug. Screw it in. I'm going to take that out again in a little bit after I put the vertical tube on. But so now you got your bowl completed, your meter and block completed. Got to put the accelerator pump lever on there, and then I put all that stuff there together. Now set meter and block and fuel bowl to the side. Get your carburetor back. Put your accelerator pump arm on. Then install your C-clip. And just make sure everything works. Alright, I don't like how this accelerator pump arm here is doing. You can see somebody has bent this one. So I'm going to put this one on there. Just a spare I had laying around. Now, let's see. Yeah. Works better. I like that one better. But this one here, somebody done some bending everything on it. To keep from using it on something else, I'm just bent. I can still use the screw and all that, but that way I know later on there's something wrong with it. Now we're ready to put the crossover tube, the front meter and block, and the bowl on. Alright, you have two gaskets here. For this carburetor here, you use this gasket. This gasket here is for the ones that's got a transfer tube. It's actually have a tube there and a socket there for the tube to fit. So if you got the transfer tube, you'd use this gasket. But with this one, you don't have a transfer tube, so you just use this gasket. Put your fuel bowl gasket on, and this tube has stops on it. If it was a smooth tube, you would use these seals. But with it having the stops, you use these O-rings. Let's see. I'm gonna just put a little dab of dough on there to get it slicked up. Make bubbles while your car runs. Alright, got them slicked up. They should slide in. So I usually put the back in. See, it slid right in. Put my front bowl on. Now you got to have 4 hands. Hold that up. Get that in place. Push it together. Get O-rings started in your tube. Make sure your arm's still under there. And start your bolts. And then tighten them up. Now that you got all these tight, I don't go too crazy with them because I done tore several of them out apart that somebody done went tight and stripped the threads out. But now you got that in, give the tube a little, yeah, it's not binding up. Your O-rings are still in place like they should be. So that's that on that part. Now get to adjusting the accelerator pump arm where it's supposed to be, and then I'll show you the vacuum secondary and the choke. Now just the accelerator pump arm. To start off with, I'm going to tighten it up to where it's loose. When I'm talking about loose, that bottom piece, it'd be loose in between the 2 pieces. Having to go a long way with this one. Okay, now It's a little loose there. But when you push it down all the way, there's still some gap right there. So they said 15 thousandths, but it's not compressing it all the way. I might tighten it up just a little bit more. That's more than 15. Loosen them, run the bolt back out a little bit. But see how it moves? I need about 15 thousandths. Loosen it up more. Now, it ain't bottoming out, so that's good there. I'll show you a little trick that I found out about putting the vacuum secondary together. It's supposed to go in like that, but when you start to push it together, you see it drops down. So here's a little trick I found. Get it back the way it's supposed to be. Drop it in there. Ease it down in your vise. Into your plate until it sets down. Then tighten it up, just snug it enough, and see, now it'll hold itself up. So when you push down with the spring, it stays right where it needs to be. So you just line the holes up, push down, put your screws in. I don't know how you're supposed to do it, but this way here works good for me. Get the now that they all just ran down to touching, you loosen it back up out of the vise, and you can see the gasket, everything stayed right in place. Go ahead and torque them down, and I got to take two of the screws back out to put the choke holder on, but there you go. Now, Take one screw out. Get your manual choke lever under that screw. Pull your other screw out. Ease that over. Bam, it's done. That's the easiest way I've found so far. Give it a little pump. Yep, you can hear it. Okay, now got to put this little gasket and install it. Put your new cork gasket in and give it a little press. That way it won't fall out. Hold your finger over it while it's upside down. Get your couple screws in. I went ahead and put all of them. Keep your finger on it until you get it close, because this port have to seal off there. So just ease it over to it. When it touches, make sure your cork gasket stays in place. And I always get one screw to where I know it's holding the gasket in. Then I can line up the other ones. All right, check behind there, make sure the gasket didn't fall. And that's another thing about this tray. If it would have fell out, it would have been right there where you could see it. But now just slide your choke lever on. I gotta find that C-clip. It was already gone whenever I tore it apart, but there's a little clip that goes there to hold it in place. Let me find it. And see, it's a little clip. Easy to lose. Now, just take for your choke, manual choke. Run your screws in. And there's also a little gasket that goes right there and sits right there. I'm gonna put that on, and then all you got to do, I'll just go ahead and show you. Just pull it through, get it close to it. Put your choke lever on, slide it on, and then put them three screws in. So I'm gonna find that little gasket, put it on, and I'll go ahead and install that since I showed you about what to do. But yeah, it just bolts right there. Now once you get all your choke assembly on, you see it works and it kicks the throttle up a little bit. rods in there. You gotta put your little pin in, hold it in place. And watch the throttle so it'll kick it up when you pull the choke on, and kick it up a little bit. So, all right, this part here is done. I just gotta put the fuel line in, then I hook up the vertical tube, and I show you the float levels and accelerator pump working. All right, now you just put your little seal right here. Slide your fuel thing in. Push your other seal. Push your screen in. Tighten that down. Now, ready to hook fuel up to it and see what happens. Okay, well, I was gonna hook the vertical tube up to show you the float levels, but I don't have no gas here right now. I checked my gas jug and it was empty, but this is it. That's all you have to do. And once we put it on the vehicle, I'll show you that it will run. But for now, it's complete. You should be able to follow this here and build one yourself. All right, more videos to come soon.